Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. There's quite a bit to talk about today, that's for sure. What's up, guys? I'm DK Wrestler, and in today's video is a brand new edition of This Week in Collectible News, where of course I talk about the latest news in terms to the collectible world, whether that be Funko, Lego, U2s, whatever collectible I feel like talking about will be featured in this video. And if you end up enjoying this type of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, but nonetheless, let's kick this video off. And we're going to be kicking this off with new Deadpool and Wolverine pops of both Deadpool and Wolverine for the final scene moment. Now, I know technically this was kind of revealed last week, but it was never actually confirmed by Funko, but Pop Culture themselves is who I got this source from. And although I think it is long overdue that we finally get this moment as a pop, I don't like the way that they did it, where it's basically two singular pops and then you put it together instead of a big moments like U2's would have done. We have ourselves an upcoming limited edition pop of General Grievous from Star Wars, which will be Supreme, limited to 9,500 pieces. Now, overall, I think this pop is pretty cool. I don't think it's the best General Grievous pop, but I also don't think it's the worst at the same time. And of course, in the US, it is going to be shared with a very specific retailer that has caused quite a bit of controversy that we'll definitely be talking about later on in this video. U2s have announced a figure for the World of Clash. Now, this is pretty cool. You kind of get two figures in one when you have the one character involved with his pig or boar or some sort of animal. Funko Fan Rewards is running their New York Comic-Con booth sweepstakes, which will be closing on September 14th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. Now, I would assume that this would have to involve something relating to like front of the line access to the New York Comic-Con exclusives, and if we're already getting this news, then I feel like it's only a matter of like maybe next week where we finally get New York Comic-Con reveals. Toy Temple have announced their own exclusive pop of Goku with a glow-in-the-dark chase. Now, this is pretty cool for the sake of what they've done with the common and the chase, considering that it's pretty much the completely different molding when it comes to the chase. Plus, adding that specification is also a nice touch with glow-in-the-dark. We got ourselves the next Watchmen pop, which is a new pop of Rorschach. I knew it was only a matter of time. We had the Silk Spectre, we had the new Dr. Manhattan, now we have a new Rorschach, which Rorschach was my favorite character in the Watchmen, and I am heavily considering getting this. I'm not entirely sure yet, but overall, I'm so glad that there is a new Rorschach, considering that both the regular and the bloody version from San Diego Comic-Con years and years ago are very, very expensive now. We got ourselves the reveal of the next Chow's Collectibles exclusive being A with a glow-in-the-dark chase. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I do like a little bit of the molding difference within the common and the chase with this one as well, just like I mentioned with the Dragon Ball one that's going to Toy Temple. Pokemon have announced a Mega Evolution Phantasmal Flames ETB as well as a Mega Charizard EX Ultimate Premium Collection box. Once again, even though I don't collect Pokemon at all, unlike my co-host MD Shady, I thought I would mention this because I know that there's a lot of people out there that like Pokemon. Funko have announced a pop of Stephen Colbert. Pretty cool that we're getting some talk show hosts. I believe we've had some in the past, especially with the Conan O'Brien pops that they've done. And hopefully soon this would mean that maybe we'll get Jimmy Fallon, because I've always wanted a pop of Jimmy Fallon. And I guess also talk about perfect timing for him, considering that I believe Donald Trump canceled his show, if I'm not mistaken. Next up, we got ourselves a pop comic covers of Iron Man, as well as the next meme pops of Skeletor. Now, I don't have really much to say about the comic covers, but this Skeletor pop is the meme that we should have had all along instead of the original one they made where he's laying down. Because of course it's relating to the exact same meme, and every time we talk about this meme it's exactly when he says until we meet again and he's running off. So I don't know why they didn't just do this pop in the first place and just trash the other one. We got ourselves some classic DC Comics pops, which these are pretty decent. They all got a unique design to them, especially adding that blue shading to Batman instead of the regular black. For the Pop Rocks lineup, we have Phyrexo. Don't know if I pronounced that because I'm going to assume this is a rapper. I don't really listen to rap, but I do like the aspect, I guess, that this will be glow in the dark within the shoes and the hair, so I guess there is a little bit of added bonus to this pop. We got ourselves a set of pops for both Mortal Kombat 2 as well as Nosferatu. And overall, these aren't too bad. I really like the design of the Ellen Hutter for Nosferatu, and especially with those specific pops, the detail of like the wax seal stamp on the top right corner of the box with the number that is involved with with the movie's lineup. We got ourselves more pops for The Last Ronin. And this is pretty cool. We've had a few pops for The Last Ronin already, especially with the Dark Leonardo and of course The Last Ronin himself. So there's other characters to be added here, and I think they did a great job with these. We got ourselves pops for Atlantis: The Lost Empire. And this is really cool. This is definitely one of those Disney movies where a lot of people for years have been wanting pops for this. We got ourselves some anime pops with Tokyo Revengers. Of course, me not knowing much about anime besides Yu-Gi-Oh!, I don't really know much about this, besides the fact that I do like the detail with the chase figure of the one character, which is a very great representation of what it's like trying to find employment here in Canada. Both very painful and makes me want to cry. We got ourselves a glow-in-the-dark 2-pack of Pinky and the Brain. And this is pretty cool. We haven't had these pops in a long time, at least as far as I remember. We got a first look at the Biddy Pop Collector's Pack for Harry Potter. I like the idea of it being Hogwarts, but you know my opinion about Biddy Pops already if you've watched this for a long time. LEGO have announced an idea set of a mineral collection. This is actually kind of interesting because I know of people in my life that actually have mineral collections. We have another limited edition pop announced, being a metallic Demogorgon, once again a Supreme pop limited to 9,500 pieces. I have no idea how this thing actually sold out because this thing, in my opinion, is hot garbage. Unless Funko once again is like lying with numbers and you'll end up seeing a restock at some point. Entertainment Earth have announced their own exclusive U2's figures of the T-60 power armor from Fallout, as well as announcing their own exclusive Loungefly bag of Terrifier. All 4 of these figures are pretty sweet, and I like the designs of them in their own way. LEGO have officially confirmed the brand new Death Star set, and this thing is freaking nuts. Like, this has, I can't even count the amount of minifigures that are involved. That's got to be at least 20 minifigures involved with it. And of course, you have the display of the different rooms. I believe this is going to be like close to 10,000 pieces and retails for $1,000. Today, I wanted to give a shout out to Sentinel 107. And the reason that they ended up getting a shout out is because they joined our YouTube channel membership, which only cost $1.99 a month. Not only do you get the shout out, but you do get lots of other perks, including early access to every single video and shorts that we produce on this channel. So definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership. It will be greatly appreciated and it will go a long way of helping out this channel a lot. So definitely consider it, but let's get right back to the video. And now the reason you probably clicked on this video is the controversy involving EVEND. Now, I feel like I probably could have made content all week relating to this controversy with everything that they've been doing involving their live streams on Whatnot and selling a figure for $64,000. What the actual f is going on, people? This is absolutely insane, and I heard they're going to keep on doing live streams until like December relating to these, and there's only 1,200 of them, and you should not be bidding $64,000 on this fucking pop. And then there was a post that was made from a recent live stream where the host had to put a message on the screen mentioning that if you're negative in the stream, that you'll be removed. So basically, if you call them out for being scammers, you're going to be removed from getting this pop, which I hope that Funko is going to investigate this really soon, especially because that General Grievous I discussed about a bit ago is also going to EVEND. And that one is 9,500 pieces. So who knows what the hell they're going to do with that pop, just like they're doing with this one. LEGO have announced a Sega Genesis controller set. And this is actually pretty cool. And I believe this item, if I'm not mistaken, is one of those items where if you buy a certain amount on the LEGO website, you get this for free, which I think that's pretty cool. I love when LEGO does that. Funko Pops were featured in the latest episode of South Park. I thought this was pretty interesting. I always love to mention whenever Funko Pops make it to mainstream media. And last but not least, before our usual top 5 list, we have an announcement with Thrill Joy involving some new figures, including the Crooked Man, Bathsheba, and the Nun, as well as some Conjuring Universe pixel figures. Now, I think these are really awesome, and on top of this as well, they did do an announcement where unfortunately they will not have the Boardwalk Party at New York Comic Con because of Asia recently having a flood, and a lot of the inventory for that specific event was damaged. And then unfortunately there wouldn't be time to basically remake all of the items in time for New York Comic Con. So now, starting off with the top 5 list at number 5, we got ourselves Milo from Atlantis. I think this was a pretty cool announcement, but unfortunately I don't see myself adding this into my collection since I've only watched Atlantis a couple times. Coming in at number 4 on my list is the Crooked Man Pix from Thrilljoy. I really enjoyed when Funko made the pop of this character for both the regular and NFT sets, so I really like the idea that Thrilljoy is taking advantage of this now, and it might have been a little bit higher if there was an extra chase to it. Coming in at number 3 on my list is the Sega Genesis set from LEGO, and although I think this is pretty cool, I think I would have been more excited if they eventually do a Nintendo GameCube set. I think that would be amazing, and I think I would actually buy it then. Coming in at number 2 on my list is the Rorschach Pop from Watchmen. I've been waiting for a Rorschach Pop for a very long time, and I am heavily considering getting this. And coming in at number 1 on my list is the new Death Star LEGO set.